So yesterday's topic that we discussed about is auto scaling. We discussed what exactly auto scaling is and where it is used. We discussed two different types of auto scaling: horizontal auto scaling and horizontal auto scaling and vertical auto scaling. Okay, we did one quick example also of what a vertical auto scaling is. Okay, and what a like today we'll study a bit more about the horizontal auto scaling. But before we actually go into horizontal, I want to quickly show you how vertical works, as we already did it. I'll just do a quick recap of what we did last time, and then we'll do about horizontal one. Okay. If you have not, like, for the people who have not joined the session, then please, please go ahead and watch that video. Okay, because it is very important topic, because it's not only used in AWS, it will be used um in your databases, your database scaling, your application scaling, your Kubernetes, everywhere.
All
Okay,
right.
so it's always a good thing to understand a bit. Okay, although tools and the way it is done can vary from different tool to tool, but the concept itself remains the same. Okay, I hope you guys can see my screen. I will quickly do an auto scale. I'll quickly give you an example of vertical, and then we'll go to horizontal. Okay. I'll also try and find out the differences between a like I've also shared a link with you to understand what is the difference between a horizontal one and vertical one. So please go through that. Okay. It also shows pros and cons of both. Okay. So example, I'm creating an instance called DevOps core server or DevOps server. Okay. I have created like T2 microsystem. Okay. DevOps course, edit, existing, default, and then launch instance. Okay. Here it says that I think we'll have to edit instance config. What happened? T2 micro. Let me try T2 small. Yeah, it is correct. I think it should have worked. You have requested more CPU capacity than your current. How is it that? Let me try and it's one CPU only. Where did it say two CPU? What happened here in Mumbai region? Seems like something happened. Okay, I'm not sure why this is happening, but let me just quickly delete this. I think there is already one instance that's running here. Maybe that's the reason. And I will still have to make some changes in my account for it to work successfully, which I'll do in backend. But this is DevOps course, then Ubuntu, then T2 Micro. I'll just do T2 Nano and we'll update it to Micro so that that is doable. So it launched this instance. Now, what I want to do is this is a nano system. Okay, which is a smaller one. Now, what if I want to do? What if I want to increase it? What if I want to go ahead and increase the specs of this one? Okay, as in I want to increase the RAM to 1 GB, to 1 GB instead of 0.5. Okay, now my instance is already there. So what should I do? I can come here. In case of vertical scaling, what do? We update the server and increase the capacity. Okay, this is vertical because your instance itself is increasing or updating. Now, when it is vertical, it will go like this, as in you are adding few more instances. Okay. Now, what I can do is I can come here. So, if you see, change instance type option is not available for running instance. So, you'll have to again stop this instance first. Once it is stopped, we will go ahead and update the instance type. So, this is how vertical scaling works. Okay. I'll just wait. Yeah. Now, since it is stopped, I'll go ahead, select it, update the instance type. As soon as I'll update the instance type, this is called as vertical auto scaling because I have increased the instance type itself. So to be able to add more RAM to it, what I have done is I have updated the instance itself. Okay. As soon as I'll apply the change, we are automatically horizontal. We have automatically did vertical auto scaling here. Now, whenever you will start the instance type is going to be T2 micro. Okay, instead of nano. Earlier it was nano. Cool. Now I can start this instance and show you guys. It will successfully start without any errors. Now, the next thing that we have to do is horizontal auto scaling. Okay, which is generally widely used here in AWS. Okay, whenever you have to have more instances, whenever you have to scale up and scale down, example. Okay, this is running T2 micro. Cool. So from nano to micro, I have updated the instance type now. Now, next thing that I would like to do is auto scaling. So there is an option here called auto scaling groups. We'll go ahead and create an auto scaling group. This is for horizontal scaling. What we did right now was vertical scaling. We need launch template to be able to create this. So I'll just create a launch template first. My launch template is DevOps course launch template. Description, guidance, tags, source template. You can use any source template or you can have some custom values. I don't have any source template here. In this, you will anyways go ahead and do like select your machine, how you want your machines to be like. Example, if I am doing auto scaling, okay, it will start new instances for me. Okay, horizontal auto scaling means more and more instances are added. When more and more instances are added, I need to tell them how my instances should look like. What are the configurations of that instance? I'm giving it micro. DevOps course. You can give your network configurations as in uh, which which subnet you want all of these instances to be in. Okay, if you select this, it's going to be only in this instance. So better keep it none. Okay, so it can auto select and auto distribute itself. You can select an existing security group which will be applied to these instances. So I'm giving default. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create that instance. I can create that instance with nano. If I want to add more RAM, I will update the type to be update the number of instances to 2. So then I'll have 2 CPU and 1 GB of RAM. So for 1 GB of RAM, I have to also give 2 CPU, although, but it will still be 2 GB of RAM. So my problem is solved. Okay, but again, we have already discussed it's of a bit like more pricing, so that we have already discussed. Enable auto assign public IP, security groups. Okay, and auto assign IPv4. Delete on termination. Yes, that's it. I can add EBS volumes. Apart from this volume, I can add more volumes to it if I want to add it. Like this, these volumes will be attached on all the instances. Okay. I can attach EBS volumes. I was just trying to see if I can attach EFS, but that is something I think we'll have to work it out. Okay. I can give tags and other information. I can have some advanced details that do I need to have an IM profile and auto recovery, other things here. Purchasing options by default is on demand. Okay. I can include user data, sudo apt install, apt update, apt install nginx. Okay. Just for my sake, I can like include it. If I don't want to, I can avoid it. Both of them, all is fine. Although, okay. Now I create an instance. Now when I was like doing auto scaling group, I'll just refresh it and I get my launch template now. Launch template always have a version, so you can use the latest version, you can use the default version or whichever version you want to. Because now you can go ahead and update this launch template. It will create another version for that template, and you can go ahead and then your instances will be created with that part. Okay. Now I come here, I go next. VPC availability zones. I can give all the availability zones that I want to create instances in all of these availability zones. Okay, I can select, I can detach. Next. Do you want to attach any load balancing to it? Example, if you have a lot of instances, you need your traffic to come there. Okay, for your traffic to come there, you can attach a load balancer above. So when you attach a load balancer above, you can say that, okay, I want to attach a load balancer, and then load balancer should balance the load between as many instances as there are. Okay, because at the time of auto scaling, you don't know whether you will have 5 instances, 10 instances, 2 instances. You don't know. Okay. You can give any health checks if you have. Monitoring if you want to enable, and warm up. No. So group size desired, uh, like this is the minimum one. This is the minimum desired. This maximum can be 10. Okay. So this is metric that you would like to track. Example, if CPU utilization is more than 50%, okay, this is the time. Disable scale in to create only scale out policy. Okay, I don't want to do that. I can have more and more policies to it. Like I can do it on I can do it on CPU utilization, load balancer count. Example, if I have a load balancer and there are a lot of requests that are coming in, I can do it on that. So I'm doing it on CPU utilization right now. Launch before terminating, launch and terminate. Okay. And Next. Next. You can get notified if you want to. I can add a notification saying that I want to, like, this is SNS topic notification, that okay, when an instance scaled or scaled up and scaled down. Example, if I had two instances initially, okay, they became 10 in night because that was the high traffic time. Okay, and then they came back to 2. How will you identify what happened? So this is the time where you might need some notifications. So I remove this notifications because I don't want to need, I don't need it now. Okay. Remind me when we'll be learning SNS, we might do that. Okay. Cannot have trailing spaces. Group name cannot have trailing spaces. I have an extra space there in the end. That's why it gave an error. One or more required field is missing. What is missing? See, it's saying that there is some value that's missing. Let me just make it as small as possible. Missing value. What is missing? TMPL. Oh, whatever selections I had, it actually kind of removed those selections. That's the reason initially. Next. These are all the same values that we added. I'm just going, I just went back and came up back again. I'll create an auto scaling group. As soon as I'll create an auto scaling group, make sure I have a desired capacity of 1. Oh, I updated the max capacity, but I think when I just went back and came up back again, it just removed the capacity. Let it come here again. There is one instance, there is desired 1, max 1, min 1. Okay. Now what I can do here is, which means that this auto scaling group created an instance. So this is launching an instance right now. Okay. Once this is ready, it will show here. This is an instance. It's in pending state right now. Status is healthy. Okay. Life cycle is pending in service. Cool. Which means the activity is completed, successful. Now I want to uh, do auto scaling dynamically. This values we have already added, but it did not kind of updated successfully. So I have created it now. So this is the dynamic auto scaling capacity, which means that if CPU utilization is more than, I can edit it also. Like if I want to do that, edit. If my CPU utilization at the target is on an average, CPU utilization is 80%, okay, then scale up the instance, because after some time it might go up to 90 and like impact my application. So I would like to do it before. Now I can make more in changes in the desired and I can update the capacity. So I want maximum 10 instances, minimum 1 instance. So it will still keep 1 instance because that's minimum, and will wait for the CPU utilization of this instance to go up to 80%, and then it will come down. Now, if I want to show you, let me see what is the CPU utilization count now. It will take some time for it to come up because we are looking at 3-hour matrices and we have just started the instance, so it takes time. Okay, now I can actually go to that instance. Auto scaling, where is the instance? Uh, yeah. So this is the instance that they created. If I check the monitoring part, CPU percentage right now is nothing actually, because there's no CPU that is utilized yet. So I can show you, like, probably when we go ahead and keep on increasing and install something on this instance, something with a higher capacity, it will automatically scale up. Okay, now let me try doing that. So this is how horizontal scaling will work. Okay, do you have any idea now what is a horizontal scale and what is a vertical scale?
Yeah.
Horizontal scale means now in case of an auto scaling, it will automatically keep on adding new instances based on the traffic. Okay, now here we have done it based on the CPU, because you have added some dynamic policy saying that track the CPU, let the CPU go to 80% and then come back. Okay, I can reduce this number also. You can do predictive scaling, as in you can evaluate 2 days data, and maybe even before that information actually happens, or that thing actually happens. Okay, you can schedule some new instances, because use case of this is, if you know that whenever there is a sale that's happening, maybe midnight sale. Okay, there is going to be increase in the traffic that I'm expecting. Okay, so I don't want traffic to come and then for me to scale. I can do scaling even before that, as in forecasting. So I can give a metric pair, I can give one metric, I can give multiple matrices. Based on this, it can do auto scale or come back based on the information that it has or already has. You can have a scheduled action saying that um desired capacity 2, minimum 2, max 5, occurrence once, time ist. You can select ist, you can select whichever time zone you feel comfortable with. So I'm Asia Kolkata is something that I'm deciding. Okay, now to test this auto scaling, instead of increasing the traffic, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to add 13 02 03. Okay, so desired capacity will be 3, will be 2 on this time. Okay, even if there is a failure, you will see it in the activity. So let's just wait for 103. This is a scheduled one. Like if there is a traffic, if there is a sale, I can already do it. Are you getting my point? If there is a sale, I know that there is
Yeah,
going to be
yeah,
a sale at midnight. I can forecast it and schedule some new instances even before that happens. Okay.
yeah,
So I'll just wait for some warm up pool or warm up instances and some activity here at scheduled way, in a scheduled way. So how we are scaling up till now, we are scaling it based on the CPU and based on a schedule. You can go ahead, implement the schedule. You can go ahead and see what is happening there. Okay. We are just waiting for the schedule to actually implement. Okay. Executing the schedule. You see, in some time you'll get something in warm up pool also, because these are going to be warm up instances. So but it's going to wait. Okay, it tried creating an instance, it failed because of there's some restriction on my account right now, but it would have started increasing the number of instances. You see, a scheduled action update to minimum 2, maximum 5, 2 changes, launching a new instance. CPU, there is a CPU limit for now, so that's why it is failing. But it would have automatically scaled my instances. So since there is already one instance, okay, it would have automatically started another instance. If I go, okay, what if I delete this instance accidentally?
yeah. It will create another one.
It will try and create another one, because here we have written that the capacity should be. Okay, tried creating another instance but couldn't. So ideally, it is trying to create one more instance. Let it shut down, terminate, and once it is terminated, let's see what happens here at this end. Here we have already updated desired capacity because the scheduled actually came into picture. But you see, because of schedule, you are increasing the instance, but it's not decreasing it. Okay.
Yeah.
In case of when you do it using the traffic, as soon as the traffic increases, it will increase the instances, and as soon as traffic decreases, it decreases the instances also. But you have to analyze like what you are doing. So let's wait. Let's see what happens. Activity. It already started one instance. I think so. Should have. No, not yet. Already started an instance. Okay. So even if somebody accidentally deletes it, it will start another instance on its own. Okay. Based on the configurations that you have given.
Yeah.
This is horizontal scaling. So it also helps us manage these instances, manage a cluster, or like even in Kubernetes clusters, they use this. Okay. In case of a high load, you can use it in VPA. As it you can use it to increase the cluster size. So why it is adding more instances called VPA is because you are increasing the capacity of the cluster. Okay. When you increase number of pods or number of containers, then it says HPA, because their difference, there is going to be a difference between horizontal scale, what is called horizontal and what is vertical, in terms of what tool you are trying to say. Okay. Or what tool you are trying to work with. So this was very simple example of what we have done so far. Okay. But it's a very interesting and important topic also. So I've just deleted it for now. If you want, you guys can try it on your instances too. See how it works. Check if you have any doubts. Please do come and share it with me. Okay.
So
Now we
by
have covered.
default, auto scaling means, I mean, usually it should be horizontal only. Therefore, there's
No,
la.
it's not compulsory. Okay. I have shared a link yesterday wherein you can do a trade off. Okay. That whether you want to do a horizontal or a vertical one. Now, horizontal, when you do a horizontal scaling, it becomes difficult for you to manage the data. Okay. Example, there are three processes running on three different instances. Okay. This is writing data in one drive. This is writing data in another drive. This is writing data in another drive. So then all three might have different results, right? So you'll
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to manage the data replication also in this case.
Mm.
So in this case, again, you'll have to trade off between what you want to do, and like always people prefer horizontal because there is no limit of how many instances you can add. Plus, when you add a new instance, it's not impacting the previous one, so it won't actually cause any damage. It can be like whenever you want to scale up, you can scale up. Whenever you want to scale down, you scale down. But only challenge with that is managing the data. It is costlier compared to a vertical scale, and so on and so forth, that we discussed yesterday. Okay. So based on your use case, you'll have to decide. General cases, we do take care of horizontal. We do work with horizontal scaling a lot more than vertical one. But again, in case of Kubernetes, vertical scaling is adding more instances
Mm.
to the cluster. Okay. That is that is something that is done irrespective of whether you want to do a horizontal one or not, because your capacity of adding more and more containers is, there is a limit to it. There is a limit to number of uh, like workers you have. So if your workers are less, you will not be able to do a horizontal scale, so you'll have to anyways do a vertical scale in that case. So there, like, these terms can vary based on which tool you are working with, what you are doing, what you are working with. In case of a database, it can be a database. In case of a database cluster, then we have a horizontal scaling. In case of you want to manage a database, but you want to have more capacity. Like example, I gave an example yesterday also. If example, you have a T2 micro machine, okay, and you want to run Elasticsearch, but my software needs minimum 16 GB for 16 GB to run. So will it be able to run on that T2 micro machine? No. So what we'll have to do? We'll have to do a vertical scale. There is no option of horizontal scale in this case.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That depends on case to case basis. Okay. There's no hard and fast rule, but you should know about both of them and you should understand what is the difference. Thank you guys. That's all
Okay.
I have
Thank you.
today. I didn't want to take a very, very big like call today because I wanted to focus my attention towards this. Okay. But what I want you to do is go ahead, try it out. More and more you try out, easier it will be for you going forward.
Yeah. Correct. Correct. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.